Okay, so have you ever heard the one about the NBA, like, secretly trying to stop dynasties?
Like stop teams from getting too good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, apparently some people really believe this, and it's like a whole thing.
Oh, yeah, there are some pretty wild theories out there.
So you sent us this video script, and it's like all about this idea. It's called "The Warriors Just Exposed the NBA's Biggest Fear," and it's dirty.
Wow, that title is something else.
Right. It's definitely got that, like, dramatic kind of conspiratorial vibe. You know what I mean?
It's like straight out of a sports conspiracy movie.
Exactly. And, they claim the NBA has this whole hidden agenda.
Like they're pulling strings behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's all about, like, stopping certain teams from staying on top for too long.
Interesting. So what we're going to do in this deep dive is try to really break down the arguments in this video.
Yeah, even if it gets a little crazy, we want to understand, like, what they're actually saying.
Right. What are the underlying claims and the supposed evidence, even if it's presented in this, like, super dramatic way?
Exactly. Yeah, because you're not alone if you've thought about these kinds of things.
Oh, for sure. Lots of fans have their own theories about what goes on behind the scenes in pro sports.
Right. So have you ever wondered if there's, like, a bigger game being played that we don't see? Let us know down in the comments.
All right, so let's jump right into it. What's the main thing this video is arguing?
Well, they basically say the NBA hates dynasties.
Dynasties as in...
Like teams that win championships multiple years in a row and stay dominant for a long time.
Right, like those legendary teams that everyone remembers.
Yeah, exactly. And the video claims the NBA doesn't like those because they think it hurts TV ratings.
So their argument is that after the initial excitement of a new dynasty fades, people lose interest.
Yeah, and that leads to, like, lower viewership and less money for the league.
That's an interesting take. So what kind of examples do they give to support this?
Well, they bring up a couple of big ones, like the breakup of LeBron James's Miami Heat.
Yes. That team was incredible for a while.
Right. They won 2 championships back-to-back, but then LeBron went back to Cleveland.
And the video sees that as the NBA, like, stepping in and breaking them up.
Yeah, they say the league didn't want them to win too much.
And the other example is...
Kevin Durant joining the Warriors.
Oh, yeah, that was a huge move that changed the whole league.
Right, and they won 2 championships together, but then Durant left and went to Brooklyn.
And again, the video suggests the NBA somehow orchestrated that, too.
Yeah, they're painting this picture of the league as, like, this puppet master controlling everything.
Okay, that's a pretty bold claim. I mean, obviously there are a lot of factors that go into players' decisions and team dynamics.
Yeah, like contracts and injuries and just, players wanting to play for different teams.
Exactly. So do you think the video is maybe oversimplifying things by putting all the blame on the NBA?
Well, that's something to consider for sure. It's worth thinking about all the different perspectives and possible explanations.
Right, so moving on, the video then focuses on the current Warriors team with Steph Curry.
Yeah, they're saying this team is causing the league to, like, panic.
Panic because...
Because they're good again and could potentially become another dynasty.
Ah, I see. They're framing the Warriors' success as like a threat to the NBA's plans.
Yeah, exactly. And it gets even wilder. They claimed the league is actively trying to make the Warriors fail.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do they supposedly do that?
Through the refs, they say the officiating is rigged against the Warriors.
Like they're calling fouls unfairly to give other teams an advantage.
Yeah, they highlight Draymond Green getting a lot of technical fouls.
Ah, Draymond. He's known for being pretty fiery on the court.
Right. And they also point to Steph Curry not getting as many foul calls as they think he deserves.
So they're building this case that the referees are intentionally targeting the Warriors.
And to make it even more dramatic, they even include a clip of Skip Bayless yelling, "This isn't fair."
Skip Bayless, he always brings the drama, doesn't he?
For sure. So they're really trying to tap into that feeling fans have when they think the refs are against their team.
Right, because let's be honest, everyone has felt that way at some point.
Totally. But the question is, are these just like isolated incidents, or is there actually some grand conspiracy against the Warriors?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the emotion of the moment, but it's important to look at the bigger picture.
Okay, so let's move on to the next part of the video, which they call the dirty truth about Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, wait, isn't he on the Miami Heat?
You're right, they actually got the player's name wrong here. It seems like they're talking about Jordan Poole.
Oh, wow. So they made a pretty big mistake there.
Yeah, but let's try to focus on the argument itself, regardless of the name mix-up.
Okay, so what do they say about this player?
They call him a survival move for the Warriors and say he unlocked Steph's prime.
Unlocked Steph's prime meaning.
Like he was the missing piece that allowed Steph Curry to play at his absolute best.
Interesting. So they're giving this player a lot of credit for the Warriors' success.
Yeah, and then they go on to say that his previous team, the Miami Heat, sabotaged him.
Sabotage him.
They don't really give specifics, but they imply that the Heat intentionally held him back or didn't develop him properly.
It's a pretty serious accusation.
Right, and now they're saying the NBA is afraid of this, like, veteran super team of Steph Curry and this player they mistakenly called Jimmy Butler.
Because they're playing the right way and exposing the weaknesses of the younger generation.
Yeah, it's like they're setting up this battle between the old guard and the new stars.
So the video suggests the NBA wants the new stars to take over because new faces, new money.
Right, they're saying the league is all about promoting the young guys for marketing purposes.
And that Steph and this player are messing up their plans by being too good.
Exactly. And to further emphasize this point, they contrast clips of Luka Doncic complaining to the refs with Steph Curry laughing in similar situations.
Oh, I see. They're trying to portray Steph as like this humble and respectful veteran.
Yeah, and they even include a clip of the video's creator trash-talking a ref during a game.
Like as proof that everyone gets frustrated with the refs.
Right, they're trying to connect with the audience and show that they're just regular fans who are seeing this injustice firsthand.
Okay, so let's move on to the next segment, which is all about Draymond Green.
They call it the Draymond Green conspiracy.
Dramatic much.
Right, they claim the NBA hates Draymond because he exposes how soft today's NBA is.
Soft meaning?
Like, not as physical or defensive-minded as it used to be.
So they're using Draymond as like a symbol of the old school style of basketball.
Exactly, and they point to his fines and suspensions as evidence of this supposed hatred.
Draymond has definitely had his fair share of run-ins with the league.
Right, but then they also say he's the best defender alive. So it's like they're acknowledging his talent while also claiming he's being unfairly targeted.
That's an interesting contradiction.
Yeah, and they show a bunch of clips of him winning Defensive Player of the Year and making incredible defensive plays.
They're really highlighting his value to the team and to the game.
And then they show a montage of him getting technical fouls.
Juxtaposing his greatness with his fiery personality.
Exactly, and there's this one clip where he blocks LeBron James and then yells, "Y'all can't stop US."
Oh yeah, that's a classic Draymond moment.
It's like they're trying to show that his intensity and passion are what make him such a great defender.
And that the NBA is trying to suppress that?
Exactly, and they conclude this section by saying the NBA prefers flashy offense because it's better for business in the three-point era.
Meaning that high-scoring games are more exciting for fans and therefore more profitable.
Yeah, and they claim the Warriors' focus on defense is bad for business because it doesn't fit that model.
So once again, they're suggesting that the NBA is prioritizing entertainment over everything else.
Right, and that the Warriors are like a threat to their preferred style of play.
Okay, so now we're getting to the final part of the video where they lay out the NBA's supposed last hope for stopping the Warriors.
And that is
Biased officiating in the playoffs.
they call it the NBA's last hope and why it won't work.
Wow, they're really going all in on this conspiracy theory.
Yeah, they're saying the refs will be instructed to call the games unfairly in favor of the Warriors' opponents.
In order to prevent them from winning another championship.
Exactly, and they even show pictures of Adam Silver looking stressed out.
Ow.
And clips of what they consider bad calls against the Warriors.
It's like they're trying to create this image of the desperate league resorting to dirty tactics.
But they also say it won't matter because the Warriors are just too good.
So they believe the Warriors will overcome any obstacles the NBA throws at them.
Yeah, they say Steph's too clutch, Jimmy's too dog, Draymond's too crazy.
Jimmy, again, they still haven't corrected that mistake.
Yeah, but the point is, they have complete faith in these three players to carry the team to victory.
Interesting. So they're arguing that talent and determination will prevail over any perceived conspiracy?
Exactly, and to highlight Steph Curry's clutchness, they show that famous night-night celebration from the 2022 finals.
Oh, yeah, that was an iconic moment.
Definitely, and they're using it as evidence that Steph can't be stopped when it matters most.
Okay, so what's the final takeaway from the video?
They say the NBA needs new stars, but the Warriors are proving that the old legends still run this league, and that's terrifying for business.
So in their view, the Warriors' continued success is a direct challenge to the NBA's plans.
Right, they're basically saying the old guard is ruining the script.
Fascinating. So in conclusion, this video script presents a pretty elaborate conspiracy theory.
Yeah, they're arguing that the NBA is deliberately trying to hold back the Warriors and promote new stars for financial gain.
And they're using these specific examples of officiating technical fouls and player treatment to support their claim.
Right, but it's important to remember that this is just one perspective, and it's presented in a very dramatic and emotionally charged way.
Absolutely. We should always be critical of what we see and hear and consider all sides of the story.
Exactly. So to leave you with something to think about, consider this.
Yeah.
What role do these kinds of narratives about leagues having secret agendas play in how we experience and understand sports?
It's an interesting question because sports are so emotional and people get really invested in their teams.
Right. And sometimes it's easy to believe that there are bigger forces at play, especially when things don't go your way.
So it's worth thinking about how these narratives shape our perceptions and whether we're letting them influence us too much.
Definitely food for thought. Thanks for diving deep with us.
Anytime, it's been a great discussion.